Hello, so it's Saturday morning and the shopping's arrived and it's 11:30. I need to leave about 12, but half an hour. I'm just going to eat some breakfast, which is 23 raisin wheats, nectarines, what are they? Mandarins probably, they're easy peelers, grapes and almond milk. So there's healthy extra B, healthy extra B and some healthy extra A. I'm going to watch out with my cheese in future because I know that my healthy extra A is about 750 mils of almond milk. So therefore, it works out that 750 mils is about it's 3/4 of an amount of almond milk. And I know I don't really use that large amount of it because I buy 3 cartons a week and I tend to get through 2. But so I know that my healthy extra is always under, but I just have to sort of think, and I like that because then I know it's a way of moderating my intake without having to measure it. But I've just got to watch out how I do my cheese in future. I think I might go down the sliced, like those slices of cheese, not the kind of processed cheese, but like an actual slice of cheese instead, so that I know I basically if I have one cheese, that's one healthy extra A type of behaviour. I might do that instead because sometimes I can't be bothered to weigh my grated cheese onto the like put my scale and then weigh my cheese, whereas if I just have one piece then I know that's cheese or not cheese, so I might do that in future. Okay, so I'm going to eat this breakfast and then all I've got to do now is just a quick blitz through. So I've decided I'm going to do 5 minutes hoovering and 10 minutes do the kitchen as much as I can, and then off we go. See you in a bit. Bye. Hello. So I have just finished my tea. I'm just letting you know what I've eaten up to date so far. Because we're all sitting down eating, I kind of didn't want to do the video of eating. But basically we had the same as we had last week, which was roasted red peppers, like stuffed peppers. And my daughter's got into making them, so they had mince and onions and herbs. This is corn mince because I don't eat meat, and put them in peppers. And she had 3 stuffed peppers, and I had 1, and my partner had 2. My son he helped make them this time, which was really nice, but he didn't want to eat it. But we had jacket potato, beans, and salad, and the salad was made of. Got some leftover salad there. I've got some apples, gherkins, lettuce, carrots, tomatoes, olives. That's it. And then I'm counting. We put about, should we say, 2 sins of worth in the olives. So I'm counting about 1 sin's worth for my share. I had some lighter soft cheese, garlic and herb on the potatoes, so I'm counting 3 sins for that, and so I think I'm at 14 sins today, because earlier at the shop I had a packet of the fava beans, a packet of breadsticks, that was 4 + 4, and I had some packet of raisins, so that was 2, so there was 14 sins altogether today. I'm very full, so we have jacket potatoes, salad, beans, and stuffed peppers. I'm just looking on the table at the residue, see what I've got left as to what I had eaten. And now I'm having a coffee with some almond milk. And also I had some cheese. I literally chopping up some cheese for Benjamin to put in his potato. I literally just grabbed the last scraps and put it in. I was like, I really didn't mean to do that, but it happens, doesn't it? So it was only a tiny scrap, but I'll just have to, could have that as my other sin, I suppose. So now I'm going to ideally have a little bit of a tidy up, but it's not going to happen now because I'm kind of in my can't be bothered phase of the day, which is post dinner, and I'm having some coffee, and I might have a little spruce round before we go up to bed. Basically, we've had some tea, so I need to just run the bath. My partner's gone out to his open mic night, which he does on the first Saturday of the month. So we've just got to stick to our routine, really. I'm going to go and run a bath. The kids will go in the bath, and then Sunday, obviously, we get back to homework, etc. So as long as the table's clear, and there's still some less chopped up stuff that's been chopped up that hasn't been put away properly. So I think my main focus will be just to clear the table. So we've got somewhere in the morning to do our homework. I think we'll be safe. Done okay today. Not been too pulled about by anything. Been alright. There was a moment where I had planned we all had 2 stuffed peppers each, because they were good, and I thought, well, let's, Guy wanted 2 stuffed peppers last time, so I thought, well, let's do 2 stuffed peppers, but instead she wanted 3, so I was a bit like, oh, okay. So she had 3 and I had 1, my partner had 2. There was a bit of me angling that maybe if my partner didn't want another one, I could have it. But he wanted 2, and I was like, but in the end, it was perfectly fine. 1 was great anyway. Had it with my salad, all bulked up, so it's fine. I doubt I'll be wanting to nibble anything anymore. I don't think I'll be very hungry, and I think as long as I stay upstairs, I'll be fine. So I think running the bath and getting that process done will allow us to stay upstairs, and it should be fine then. I've got a relatively good stocked fruit bowl because the shopping arrived this morning, so I've got plenty of grapes, plenty of little oranges, and lots of nectarines, so it should be relatively okay if I do want another snack this evening. Okay then, I shall carry on drinking my coffee and just chilling out for a bit, and I will speak to you soon. Bye. Hello, so it's next day. I'm just going to grab a few minutes just to chat about what happened last night. So I struggled last night, and there's a variety of reasons why I struggled, so I'm just going to run through those. I was on my own, in terms of that sort of gives me opportunity to eat without somebody else seeing. Because I only had 1 pepper, I think there was a little bit of deprivation there. I had, what was the other thing I'd figured out? And my daughter wanted, we watched How to Cake It, which is a YouTube video, and not YouTube video, YouTube channel. And we used to watch it quite a fair bit together before, because it's quite a good show and she does very well and it's interesting. But of course nowadays, if I'm in a vulnerable state, watching about how cakes are made is not a good idea. What was interesting though is halfway through we were watching it, and then Guy nipped off and she came back with apples, and she said, "This is really good. I like to eat an apple while I'm watching this, because it feels like I'm having something sweet while I'm watching it, so I don't eat the cake, so I don't want it to, because I don't feel sad about eating the cake." So I thought it was a really good idea, actually. It was a very good idea. I wasn't particularly hungry, so she ate her apple. We had enough halfway through, then I finished her apple. And then there was a patch. I think it was also we were up quite late, because sometimes it's nice just to chill out, isn't it, instead of having to be so hustly and bustly. So we were just chilling out. And my partner wasn't there, so I wasn't afraid of his judgment. I mean, he's not a very judgmental person, but just in general, as another person, I worry that if I stay up too late with the children, then I'm going to be judged because I'm a bad parent. And I think that so Benjamin was having a bath at that point, and so that's like a sweet spot where I know I can go nip off and everybody's started their routine, so they'll be busy and they'll not bother me, so I can have a little patch of time. And normally that time I'm in my bedroom by myself. I take myself fully away and nobody else is in there, and that works because then by the time that's happened, and also I make myself a coffee before we come up, so I'm not tempted to go back downstairs again then I'm near food. So I have a travel mug of coffee. Whereas this time around I had a cup because I thought, well, it'd be nice just to have a cup. And so I think the fact that because obviously my daughter was in with me in the bed at the same time watching the How to Cake It, and so she, I think that although it was nice to spend time with her, obviously I didn't have the time by myself. So when my son got in the bath, was that while? Yeah, I think it was. I think then she went into the bath, and at that point I decided to go downstairs and make myself another coffee because, of course, I drank that coffee, and last bits of it was cold, so I wanted to have another coffee before I read my son his stories, because it's nice to have a little something to kind of keep you going, because sometimes it can be a bit exhausting doing the stories. Not necessarily reading the book, but the bit where you're like, are you going to choose the story? What story do you want? Do you want a story? Blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. And, you want to give the energy to your kids because obviously they deserve it, and it's a really, really important part of it. So I don't want to kind of take that out. So I tend to have coffee then just to kind of give me a little bit of focus and energy for that patch of time. But when my daughter went into the bath, I thought, well, I'll leave Benjamin for a few minutes and go and have a minute. And of course I went downstairs, and at that point I was near food. So I ended up having some coconut, like desiccated coconut, and a peanut butter sandwich. So I had peanut butter and desiccated coconut in a sandwich. It was one slice folded over, and then because that's exactly why I'm so grateful I don't have anything in the house. That's exactly why I'm so grateful that I don't have anything that's, because that's not the end of the world. It's wholemeal bread. It's peanut butter without sugar and salt. It's good for you. It's yes, it's quite high calories. But at least it's not it's meant that I was over my sins, obviously, but it wasn't detrimental to my health, which is, I appreciate that. So yes, it's gone a little bit over, and that's not something I want to choose to do every day, but at least it's not hurting me. And whereas before, when it was crisps and chocolate and all sorts of types of things, it was actually hurting me, and it wasn't fair on me. Whereas at least if it happens occasionally where I'm over my sins, then at least I'm eating healthily, so I'm grateful for that. And then I was a bit like, this is a really bad idea. But then, of course, I was like, well, I'm going to eat it anyway. So I ate it. And I thought, well, there's no point beating myself up about it. I've got to just now ride the course of it. And then my son came down and said he was hungry. So I made him a peanut butter and grape sandwich. A little fold over. Was it grapes I had in it? Yes, it was. It was grapes. And then, of course, my daughter was hungry, and she had peanut butter, grapes, and Marmite sandwich. So very very odd combinations, but we don't have jam anymore in the house because I'm far too tempted to eat the jam, and we don't have margarine in the house anymore because I like too much having and we can survive without it. We don't need jam, we don't need margarine, don't need those things. So instead we have peanut butter and fruit sandwiches. So they've ended up doing that, which is, again, it's not too bad. It's healthy. It's wholemeal bread. It's peanut butter. So it's nourishing in that regard, with no sugar and salt, no added oil, and it's grapes. So I think it's a good solid food. So then I ended up having another peanut butter and grape sandwich. Another little, one piece of the fold over. And yeah, at that point it just finished, so it was okay. I didn't, obviously, because the foods I was eating wasn't sort of, shall we say, super moorish, in terms of it was quite filling with the wholemeal bread, it was quite filling with the fruit, it was quite satiating with the fats and the peanut butter, so it kind of just petered itself out. And so basically all I had was, because it was a fold over, each time was just one piece of bread folded over, it was just 2 slices of bread, peanut butter, and grapes and coconut, desiccated coconut. I am, however, going to throw away the desiccated coconut because I don't think it has any place in my diet in general anyway, and all it does is keep calling to me because I think, oh, that's some, you know, something sort of relatively sweet, and so I think I'm just going to get rid of that. I might wait until I find somebody who might want it, but I might just put it in the bin because it is an open packet, so I might just get rid of that. And nobody else in the house eats it. And there's a danger I have with having things in the house that nobody else eats, if they're sinned foods. So because I'm a bit like, well, I could just eat the whole lot then because it won't affect anybody. So it's free and speed food, that's great, it's perfect, because then I can just, you know, eat what I want, and that'll work out well. So I think that's what I'm going to make the decision. I'm grateful that we no longer have the, we used to have the, should we say, best of both type, white bread type of bread in as well, because my partner had that and the kids had that. And I asked my partner if he'd be kind enough just to swap to wholemeal, not have at all the best of both. And he said, yeah, he was okay with that because he was starting to do the thing anyway where he wasn't having any breakfast anyway because he was doing the intermittent fasting. So I'm very, very grateful it didn't have the white bread in, because of course the wholemeal was so much more filling, so I only had 2 slices. Whereas if the white bread was in, I could you can pack a lot more of that in. So I was very grateful for that. And obviously the kids don't care anymore that it's wholemeal bread. They used to care when there was a choice between the two, but now there's not a choice between the two. They just, and it goes. So they don't care about that anymore. So yeah, though I'm a bit annoyed with myself for having made that choice, I'm not too bothered by it. But I am very aware that I have to watch my escapist tendencies. I'm very aware that the life I lead does not leave me a lot of space to do, you know, I get moments like this where I've got a minute, I've had now 10 minutes by myself and not been interrupted. But I'm not in an environment where I will not be interrupted. So it's almost like, you know, when you're waiting for somebody and you know the car's going to pull up at any moment, and so you can't really get stuck into anything because you know you're going to be interrupted. And it's like, it's one of them scenarios where you're just always on tenterhooks. And I'm very aware that I don't have a lot of time in my life where I'm not on tenterhooks, because obviously I run the shop, so I'm always ready for a customer to come in at a moment's notice. Hello. Yes.
There's a play getting ready to start.
Are you going to do a play?
And we need to make a bag, play things to go in.
Make a bag.
There's a lot of play carrots.
Why don't you get a bag from underneath the stairs?
No,
No.
we're going to make a bag.
You're going to make a bag? What are you going to make a bag out of?
Bag. Paper.
Paper? I don't know if it would be very substantial to hold the things in, is the trouble.
Maybe cardboard?
Why don't you just use a plastic bag? There's already bags made, isn't there?
Yeah, but...
You could. Why don't you decorate the plastic bag so it's still strong, but then got your own design on it?
Yeah, but
You can't weave it. You want to weave it, don't you? Is that what you want to do?
I want to be creativity.
You want to do. You want to be creative with it. I get it. I get it. Okay. Just let me know when the play's done, or.
Anyway, it's getting ready to start.
Oh, it's going to... Okay, well, I'll just finish this then and then we'll go and do the play.
Seriously, we're getting all the things ready.
Okay. Okay.
It's taking a
So-
seriously long time.
It is. Okay, so I will leave it here and then I'll put together the video and I will do another video for today. Okay. Bye.